So I may have just unearthed a gem. Hi guys, this is Farhad and welcome back to my channel Popcorn Reviews. If you're new to this channel, then please smash that subscribe button now. And as a video ritual, remember to like and comment on the video. Liking and commenting helps fuel the YouTube algorithm. And I feel that the purpose of this channel is not only, just reviewing stuff, but it is also about discovering and sending things out into the open, to recommend films that are lesser known. And one such film, one such Malayalam film that I came across is Madappally United. Now, a little story. The filmmaker Ajay Govind reached out to me saying that, if you could just review the film. And he wasn't, very specific about, whether you have to give a positive review or a negative review. He just said review my film, and I thought that was a very fair way of approaching someone. And I thought, what, let's take out some time and just review this film. And this film, which by the way is streaming on BMS, which is Book My Show stream, and you have to pay per view, I think, for this film. It's a lesser known Malayalam film is what I got to know. I mean, there hasn't been much chatter about the film, nothing around the film which is, there has been a buzz about. So there was, a lot of mystery as I went into a film. I just did not know what to expect. The name for once told me that it might be a sports film, but I absolutely had no idea of what I was getting into before going into a film. Again, let me point out that the makers have not told me to give a positive review or a negative review. These are just my thoughts, my unbiased thoughts about the film. So let's dig into it. Coming to the story and screenplay without giving spoilers, because I know that this film hasn't been watched by many people, so I won't be giving out too many spoilers here or nothing at all. I'll just be touching upon a few themes. Madappally United essentially is a story about cricket. I would say about cricket. It's not particularly cricket, it's not an underdog story, but it is in a way an underdog story, if I could just keep things vague. Essentially, it is a story about a group of people, a group of kids rather, who actually want to play a game of cricket, but they do not have the space to play it in. That's the one liner that I can give, and I don't want to give any other details about it. But the story here is very sweet, but it also has a very poignant message that is tagged to it. The messaging that is there is about space. I mean, remember, I would pretty much vouch for most of you guys, particularly the 90s kids like me, who used to actually wait for the summer vacation to go out and play a game of cricket, And one thing that I have felt in Bombay, also in Mumbai, the city where I have grown up in, is that there is a limitation of space. You either have to share the space with many people, while playing, or you actually do not have a scarcity. There's a scarcity of space, so you end up playing at the most ridiculous places ever. The current setup that is there of the social media may not have the same exposure of that, and one of the reasons might be of the space issue that is there, and that is something that is represented in Madappally United very well. Now, couple of themes that it deals with. It deals with the theme of capitalism. There's a character that is introduced once, and slowly you get to know about that character. But more importantly, that character is more about fighting for the place, for the children's playground, for community activities, as you like to call it, only to be taken away by a powerful builder in turn to make it into a shopping complex. There is a theme of capitalism as well. The same character, you also see him donating certain amount of kits, to the school. This is about a school story. So there are a lot of kids involved here. So you see the kits that are being handed over to the school. However, the number of kids is not proportionate to the number of students, which basically means that the kit would probably be rotated, amongst the group of children who are interested in the game of cricket. So it's not like you have access to it every day. So there's a dual problem that is going on. Both are in a way linked to capitalism in the purest sense. Now, one of the other themes also, or the rather the commentary that the film deals with is that of classism. There is a class commentary which is there. A character is, you see a kid where the character of a kid, who's pretty pampered and doesn't really want to play the game of cricket. It's not shown. On the other hand, you also see a group of kids, who have various problems, particularly related to the class that they belong to in the town of Madappally. Madappally is that village slash town, whatever you'd like to call it. One of the kids, you see that he has to get up every morning to help his father sew the fishing nets. One of the other kids, you see her having to coax some mother to buy a piece of attire, just because she witnessed her friend doing the same. These are, the class divides that you rarely see, which is prevalent in the team. Acha, this also extends to a theme of gender bias. Whenever we name the game of cricket, it is automatically considered to be a male game. It's you, although females do play it, but the first thing, if I have to say the captain of the Indian cricket team, your mind would immediately waver to Rohit Sharma and not question the gender, whether you're asking whether it's a male captain or the female captain, Harmanpreet Kaur or Rohit Sharma. Exactly, that is what also is dealt with here. When you watch the film, it also has a gender issue that it's being discussed, and I think that was a very tender way. It's almost like allowing feminine gaze to creep in to a very young mindset, and I think that was a very innocent kind of a start which also had. Acha, this also is a trip. You can also call it a coming of age in a way. It's a slice of life drama, depending on what gaze you want to view this film in. I would call it a road drama also, because it actually travels with the group of kids, even though they have to deal with multiple obstacles in having to play a game of cricket. In fact, they want to play the game of cricket because that kit is rotating in a way. So that is another theme. They have to deal with multiple issues, like an injury, like the space issue. There are multiple things that go on, and I think that again form the crux of the film. It's a very taut runtime, I would say. It's just under 90 minutes, and I think that's what makes the film very tight. I think one issue that I had, and let me talk about the issue as well. This is not just a positive review. The issue that I had was in the final act as well. The final act, it kind of laid a setting wherein a character ends up in a own contrast in a way. You'd know what I'm talking about when you watch the film. It ends in its own contrasting setting for which that person was fighting for, and I felt that emotion was an interesting one, although I would have liked it to be fleshed out a little. It kind of just touched upon it and went on to the next plot point, which was the final plot point at the end. And I think that a little bit of that I felt could have restrained the film and added a little more flavor to it. But overall, I think the screenplay here is pretty well written. Yes, it's simplistic. Let me tell you, you won't have a few suggestions about the film. It's very predictable. It's simplistic. Having said that, the messaging, the poignant messaging is also absolutely on point. Coming to the technical aspects, the dialogues, the music and the direction, I felt the dialogues are conversational and they highlight the themes of the film really well. The issue that I had was with the background score. Although the music was decent, the background score I think was a little bit of a giveaway in terms of the emotions that it wanted to convey. The emotions that was, I think they could have used a little more of silence, which would have enhanced the impact of the drama. But nevertheless, the cinematography and other aspects that are there, they cover it. The cinematography is pretty good. It allows the character of Madappally, the city or the town or the village of Madappally, to be a character in the film. And I think that was an interesting cog in the storytelling technique as well. The editing was pretty decent in the fact that it allowed the entire film to be concealed within the 90-minute barrier, you can say. Director Ajay Govind, I think he does a pretty impressive job, in tackling with the situation. It almost, I've been reading about it, and he actually borrows this from his own, experience of, watching kids play at a crematorium. And I think that was an interesting anecdote, because the same you is reflected in the film as well, and it actually reflected pretty well. So the direction is pretty good here. All performances, coming to the performances, all performances by the kids are excellent here, and kudos to the casting director. He's also an actor in the Malayalam film industry, but here he's playing the casting director's role, who's Rajesh Madhavan. I think he did a pretty solid job. Some of the veterans from the Malayalam film industry, like Hari Pedanti or Sibi Thomas or even Shrikant Murli, they managed to shine, and they definitely hold their own, and they definitely do. But the kids are the highlights of the film here. All kids add a different flavor to the film. So overall, I felt that Madappally United is a sweet little tale with a wonderfully poignant message that deserves to be watched. It's streaming on Book My Show stream. It's a pay-per-view sort of the structure, so to say. So you need to pay per your viewing. It's not on OTT, so which is why it's all the more important that you support these films. I really liked it. I mean, it may not be the perfect film for me. It's not a knockout film. It's not by any stretch of imagination, but it's still pretty heartfelt, and it just hits you straight to the heart, and it has a very limited runtime of 87 minutes to be precise. So that was it then, guys. Absolutely, I don't know how many of you all have watched it. If you watched it, do let me know in the comments. If you've heard about the film, also do let me know. If you want to watch it, also do let me know. Also, if you're liking the video, remember to smash that like button. Every like/dislike/comment/share helps fuel the YouTube algorithm. You can share this video with your friends and family. Ask them to subscribe to the channel. Let's grow this Digi family together. My detailed review of Madappally United is available on my site, Popcorn Reviews with the double S, the link of which is in the description box below. Do visit that as well. I do not end up making a video on everything that I watch, but I do write a lot. So all information, remember, is also available on my social media platforms. So you may need to follow me there on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd. I'll see you again with another video. There's a huge Malayalam film, Mohanlal film rather, coming out over the weekend, which I plan to watch hopefully soon. Till then, take care of yourselves, and thank you so much for your love and support. Cheers.